everyone, my name is Sarah Harris and I'm a personal trainer and lifestyle coach here at Wellness by Design. And thanks for joining me in part 4 of my 4-part series on golf conditioning for optimal performance and injury prevention. In part 1, I gave you a very simple warm-up that you can do in the clubhouse prior to your game. Part 2, we identified your restrictions in the upper body and lower body and some great mobilizations and stretches to bring balance back to your body. In part 3, we talked about stability, so how our ability to basically stand on one leg is not only important for golf, but it's also important for acts of daily living. And today we're going to talk about strength conditioning, the final part. So there are many different exercises that you can do to optimize your golf game, but one of my favorite ones is called the deadlift, which is basically a bend pattern. The deadlift is optimal for golf because we do spend some time bending and rotating, so we want to make sure that we know how to bend properly. It's also really important for posture. So many of us spend time on our computers or on our phones in that sort of rounded bent position. So a deadlift is a great way to sort of counterbalance those activities that we spend a lot of time in. Also, it activates a ton of muscles in the body, including your core muscles. And it builds for a great bum. So I always like this exercise. When I first discovered it, it was something I did all the time, and it's something I continue to do 25 years on. So a fantastic exercise. Now, before we go into it, please keep in mind if you have any musculoskeletal issues, you don't know what your core is or have any access to sort of any type of physical conditioning in the gym, you want to connect with someone like myself before you start to embark on something like a deadlift. So really important to kind of build the foundation and work your way up to this type of exercise. So it's always good to warm up the body first. So of course I've done my warm-up, I've done some movement exercises just to get the blood flowing, I've done some releases so my body's more balanced. Now I'm going to go into a sort of an activation so I'm ready to lift something heavier. And I do about 5 to 10 reps of something called a hip hinge pattern or a bend pattern first without weight. So what you're going to do is you're going to think about your feet being sort of hip width apart. I like to bring my arms up like I'm holding a platter with some space with my elbows so my shoulders are in a nice place and I'm not sort of slumped forward. I also like to think of a string pulling the back of my rib cage and my neck up towards the ceiling. And once I've got that, I start to come into my breathing. I start to breathe into my body, so I activate my deep core system. And then I'm going to be holding a platter, so I'm not going to drop that platter, keeping my shoulders in place. As I inhale, I gently pull my feet apart and I sit back through those seat bones, again thinking about a nice long spine. As I exhale, I slowly through pursed lips come up, exhaling the air all the way out. So it's inhale back, exhale, up. And I'm careful not to drive my hips forward because I can do that sometimes. So I'm very conscious of that. One more time. Inhale and exhale. So I do that about 5 to 10 times. Now I'm ready to lift. So when we take the kettlebell or any weight that you're using, we want to make sure it's close to the body when we lift it. Because if it's further away from the body, we're putting a tremendous amount of load on the lower back. And if we're not prepared for that, that can actually do us a disservice and create pain and dysfunction. So as you keep this kettlebell right in between your legs, you're going to think about your toes spreading out onto the floor. Again, that nice long spine pulling up through the back of the body. Inhale, we come down. We want to fill up our body with oxygen so we don't compress our spine. So it's inhale down, exhale, I push through the floor and I come up using the back of my legs. Inhale, exhale, feeling those glutes, those hamstrings working. Inhale, exhale. Good, so just so you get it from the side, nice tall spine, inhale, exhale, inhale, Exhale. Being careful not to drive my hips forward again. I'm trying to keep my hips over my ankle. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. There you have it, everybody, the deadlift, a really great exercise to not only optimize your golf game, but prevent injury, increase your postural strength, and your glutes, have a nice set of glutes. So I hope this 4-part series has helped. If you're looking for more and you want to understand your body and where your limitations might be, you can come see me. I do a full assessment to identify where some restrictions are and where maybe your core is not functioning at most optimal. All these things so you can have a great golf game, but also optimize your life so you can go out, do the things you love to do without injury. You can connect with me at my website, wellnessdesign.ca. Thanks for listening.